as always, with nature's blessings, Tunai, we are going to start the pitch perfect session of the day. As you know, myself, Desika Prabhakar, founder and director of the Purpose Foundation, and we have our darling COO Lakshmi here of the Purpose Foundation, who is going to give the introduction. Very, very happy to welcome our second guest from Bengaluru. So let's hear the amazing introduction from Lakshmi.
Yeah. So we are very delightful to have our second speaker, Saloni Singh, who is a gold medalist in MBA marketing, a dynamic entrepreneur, and a co-founder of Reverse Pitch, which is a platform exclusively dedicated to empowering startups with compiling pitch decks and effective presentation strategies. With hands-on experience serving over 1,500 plus startup founders, she has been instrumental in shaping success stories, refining valuation strategies, and helping business securing Series A funding and beyond. Her work focuses on translating complex ideas into persuasive narratives that resonate with investors and stakeholders alike. So, leveraging her expertise in market research, strategical development, and operational management, it has helped building sustainable business models and navigating the challenges of scaling it effectively. So passionate about empowering young innovators, she brings a practical insights into this session on how to pitch, helping guiding other students to craft impactful pitches and making a lasting impression in the competitive world of entrepreneurship. So we are very happy to welcome you, ma'am. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. So, as you all know, my name is Saloni, and currently I'm staying in Lucknow. So, you guys have already given my background that I have done my MBA and had done my education from BHU. So, recently I have also completed my new GTM and new product development course from IIM Visakhapatnam as well. And till now, I have interacted around 2,000 plus startup founder and have consulted them in creating their pitch deck, financial model, and also sometimes I guide them how to pitch in front of the investors. So mostly my session would be to help you guys how to pitch in front of the investors. I actually already Prem has given you a detailed overview on how to craft a pitch deck, so I will skip that part because something new I want to introduce. So firstly, starting with the session, I would like to start with a $1,000,000 question to you guys. What you guys think? What makes a founder ready to pitch in front of the investor? Anyone would like to answer? So I am referring to some notes which I okay. So she dropped the question in the chat. So confidence is a part. Mehir has written that confidence, but confidence is a part, and that comes from what you have built or what you are going to pitch in front of the investor. If you have done the background study in a very nice way, you will be confident. So there are few elements which I would like to tell you, which make you investor ready. So first one is impactful idea or the MVP ready, the minimal viable product, which you can showcase in front of the investors while pitching. Then a strong team, because you need a strong team. A single person, like whenever you are building a firm or building a something new, you need certain people to collaborate with you to take the execution in place. So you need a people, like-minded people to come in place with you. And secondly, the third pointer will be a great plan to execute that idea. Okay. And then my second question would be, how much average time an investor takes to decide whether to invest in a startup or not? Anyone would like to answer? 2 months. Actually, whenever you are pitching in front of the investor, it's just a span of time. They just only take 2 to 3 minutes to decide whether they want to invest in your company or not. And your pitch deck plays a very important role in that. And secondly, how your product is and how you are pitching in front of the investors, and the pilot studies you have done in front of them if you have any MVP if you are at the MVP stage, Or if you are a revenue generated company, then how much revenue you have generated till now and how much traction you have generated. Then my last question would be, what should be included in your pitch while pitching in front of your investor? Like, what you guys think, like normally? And USP and milestone, yeah, that could be a pointer. Anything else? Impact of the idea, great. So while traction, that is also a nice pointer. So I'll just give you a like 4 elements which needs to be done, like the market validation, how your product is going to perform in the market. Then secondly, how strong is your product, and that is the same thing, the USP, the USP of your product. Secondly, the business model, that includes your revenue model, your GTM and other things. Then while pitching, there should, like, I would directly jump on now how to pitch in front of the investors. So I have few notes prepared by my side, so I will just take a reference of that. So I have a quote for that. As we all know, a great company sells a vision through their story. So you should start your pitch with a story, and your story should include problem or the origin story. First point, your means pitch should include 4 stories: the problem or the origin story, like how the idea came into your mind, what problem you saw, because saw in your day to day life. There are many problems which we face in our day to life, but we never think of solving that, like how we can solve. But sometimes the problem becomes so personal or so that it impacts so much to our mind that we thought of provider getting a solution of that. And that is how most of the startups or the ideas or the companies form. Then a customer story. Then if like you are pitching in front of the investors, so you can take an example of how your product solved a problem of a normal customer. You can take an example of that, like there was a person named Joe. He was having so problem, and our product helped him overcome that problem. Then the industry story, that includes what's the opportunity of your product in the market, what's the necessity of that, your competitor research, how the other companies are doing in the market, what's your USP, what is you are doing different from other companies who are already existing in the market. And then the last one would be the venture story or the founder story. So here you will tell others, like the investors, about yourself, about your team, then how the idea came in, like how you build the company, your go to market strategy, how you are going to penetrate in the market. So whenever we are like training our founders about how to pitch, so we have interacted so many investors as well in that process. So we got to know few pointers which the investors focus most. So firstly, they focus on the product, like product is the most common thing. Then secondly, they focus on the revenue generating, your financial model and other things. And the most important thing is your go to market strategy, which most of the founder neglect while making their pitch deck or during pitching to the investors. And your GTM needs to be very strong. Even if you are making a unique product, out of the world product, but if you are not able to penetrate in the market, then you are not going to get any attract any investor. So your GTM needs to be very very strong. You don't have to, like, some of the, I have seen some founders, they have just copy pasted that, they have used chat GPT and they have just copy pasted the GTM strategy. That doesn't work. You have to think on that, how you can do it in a different way. If you have some marketing strategies in mind, it should be in the combination of offline or online marketing. If your product if you think that your product has to be a you want to choose a offline strategy, that has to be pre-planned. Everything has to be planned. Means you can't be blank if an investor asks a cross questions. So you have to do a very very good GTM strategy, and you have to do a very strong background research while before pitching to the investor. It's not just the deck. Deck is a subset of what means, you can say that deck is a part of the investment journey, but along with that you have to be confident in your product, in your team, in your go to market strategy. So for to explain it further, I would like to share my screen. I have prepared some notes to show, and if you guys want, I can share it to you later on. To explain it in a more detailed way. So here I am talking about the 4 stories which I have told you. So the key element is the origin story. So here you are living a life as a normal person, but now suddenly you have an empathy and feels a call to adventure. You accept the challenge and take a bold action. So it is the point where you get the idea into your mind and you like take the step to solve the problem. Then the element of customer story, where you will explain the investor about your buyer's persona, how your product solves the problem of a normal customer. Then secondly, the industry story, where you will talk about the impact of technological, social and economic factors. And then the venture growth story. Then we took action, we got the result. That's talk about the traction, the financial number and the GTM strategy. So this is all about from my end. I would like to take questions if any of you want to ask any question, you can ask.
Thank you so much, Saloni. It was such an amazing session. I think you gave us the right mindset of the investor, especially how their mind works and what goes on behind their brains. Like, how do we tap into it with our story and with our path? How do we really crack into their mind? So that was a very beautiful session. We have around 5 minutes before the next session. So I think we can take, some couple of questions. Can you explain the role of MVP? How important is the minimum viable product?
So minimum viable product is like whenever you are like developing a product, it's majorly in the case of if you are developing a kind of software or you are launching a product. So once if you have like if a company have a proper revenue in the starting stage, they generally go in front of the investor when the whole product is ready. But the minimum viable product is if you want like you want to show a small part of the product is ready, and you want to showcase something in front of the investor, or to launch it in the market to generate some of the traction to show during the investment. That is the importance of minimal viable product, which you can showcase in front of the investors or to the customer to generate some traction.
Thank you so much. I think I have one one question, where since most of our students are, just in their seed and pre-seed sort of a stage, you don't see many of pre-seed or seed investors compared to the bigger, scope of venture capitalists or so. So how do you really, push them into investing, like pre-seed or seed investors? How is the mind? What would you give as a tip for the students?
So for pre-seed and seed founders, I would like to suggest them that like firstly you have to means generate some revenue. You have to do some pilot study, so that whenever you are pitching in front of the investor, you have some case study ready. That's create a much more impact on investor than anything else. Even if you are generating a revenue, that will not create, means if you have some revenue as well, but if you have a strong case study in front of them to showcase, that will create a much more impact on the investors. And plus the strong GTM is very strong, very important element for a pre-seed and a seed company.
Thank you so much. I think we have one more question. What are the key elements that investors want in pre-seed investments? Key elements that they are looking for. And another question is how to document a case study properly. Like how you mentioned about the story. How do you put forth the case study in a better way?
So in case study thing, what you can do, you can create a buyer's persona, or if you are solving a real life problem, so that you can showcase. You can, while pitching, you can create a slide in your pitch deck, a separate slide in your pitch deck, where you can show through pictures or images. You can show, like, if a person is sad before having that product, or he is facing some problem, that means pictorially you can show and explain you that this person was having some issue. But through, like, I'll give you example of normal thing, like before Swiggy was introduced in India. So whatever, like, if I want to eat something at 12 o'clock, but I don't want to prepare it at home. I means I don't have the necessary food, like vegetables and all, but I want to go to restaurant. But I'm just giving a means scenario. But now the restaurants are closed. Means stay in a village or something, you guys can think, and the restaurants are closed. But now I am like craving for something to eat. So now Swiggy, we will show in the case study. Then we introduce Swiggy, and how Swiggy solved that problem, that we are delivering the food even at 4 a.m. in the in morning. So this kind of case studies will work. Then the one question which I missed was
key elements that investors want to see in pre-seed investing. I think you mentioned go-to-market and some amount of revenue is very important.
And secondly, like in the pre-seed investment, you guys don't have to show in the financial numbers. And so like you don't have much traction to show. Like 100 and 200 subscribers or user will not create much impact on the investors. So what you can do, you will have to do a very good market research. Means that the product have a like adoption in the market. Like if we will capture the market. So your TAM SAM shown needs to be strong, and the market is study, like market opportunity, competitor analysis. Your USP needs to be defined very properly.
Thank you so much, Saloni. That was an amazing session. You were so patient, so kind and sweet, and we have learned a lot to minds of investors. It was a wonderful session. We hope if you can have some time, you can stay with us for the next speaker as well. But thank you so much for
Thank you guys. Yeah. Thank you. Nice talking to you guys. Yeah.